Alright guys, welcome to an OSU report analysis of zShon, or zShon here, however you want to pronounce his name. Recently got OSU reported by Akamai here, specifically notes this Uragiri play, which is the play that we'll be going over in this video. He notes that he ends up spinning 460 RPM on the end spinner for not the entire duration, but for a fraction of it. I don't think it's that valid of evidence that we're going to be going over it, but I thought I'd mention it. He mentions relax and time warp in this, which I don't think we really have any merit to discuss. But we'll go ahead and look at his profile here. You can see he's had a pretty crazy rate of improvement, especially with a reasonable play count, play time, etc. Mostly a hard rock no mod player. He's got some DT plays sprinkled down here, well balanced, right? Hit in as well. But recently, within past 20 so days, he's set a lot of new top plays. Most of them being DT, especially the ones pushing into this 400 range, which, if you're a veteran of OSU, breaking into a whole new 100 PP barrier is a new realm, right? It is a very large jump in skill. And here you can see the Uragiri play, Nightcore, 96.88 AC, 344 PP. But yeah, let's get into it. And just before I start rambling about aim assist, I think it's fairly important that people watching this video have a good understanding of what aim assist is. Otherwise, this conversation, this video, is gonna mostly go over your heads. And for that, we kind of need to first set a distinction. Aim assist is not aimbot. Think of classic games like CSGO or Overwatch or other FPS games. Aimbot is the instance of instantly having your cursor lock onto your opponent's head, right? Obviously, this is really easy to notice. If you go look up on YouTube and search up aimbot, it's very easy to tell. Aim assist is aimbot's much, much scarier cousin. It's designed to be a much harder to detect version of aimbot. The way it does this is by pulling your cursor either towards, a circle in this case, or in some cases, even pulling your cursor back so you don't over-aim. Some things to note is that this program is incredibly smart. No one but the devs knows exactly how it works. The source code isn't public, obviously. The Aquila network, or AQN, obviously doesn't have that published for good reason. Otherwise, it'd be very easy to catch these cheaters, as we'd be able to reverse engineer something. But unfortunately, the best that we have to kind of go through and exterminate cheaters like zShon here is to manually inspect their replays and find numerous cases of suspicious aim, right? Now, obviously, a single instance, like timing a 87,696 here, just a few or even one instance of this is not proof, right? Things like this are definitely human. It's not to say that something like this is impossible. The issue arises when you discover many, many, many instances, things like this. And we'll be going over, I'll bring over my notepad here. Jesus Christ. I hate having two monitors. All right, so we'll be going over some that I consider blatant, and I'll be going over why I consider things in a certain criteria. About 28 different instances here. As well as if you have Circle Guard yourself, I'll be putting this in the description. It's a whole bunch of timings of things that I considered obviously bad aim that essentially makes his aim look like a 6-digit. Let's be honest here. But yeah, let's dive right into this. So here's the criteria that I use for blatant versus horrible aim. On the left here, and I've got this visualized in the visualizer, as well as the actual circle from the replay, just showing exactly what this looks like in game. This is something I consider blatant. His cursor barely scrapes the side of this circle in order for it to hit it. You can see that his cursor has a velocity change. It slows down just before he hits the edge here. This isn't indicative of... It's not indicative of aim assist. Your cursor is always going to slow down as it changes direction. But aim assist, if it were to be what he's using, this is exactly how it would work. Your cursor would approach this circle, it'd get pulled to the side just for long enough for you to hit the circle, and your cursor would be on its way. Again, on this over here, this is something I consider just very bad aim, and it isn't necessarily blatant. Here his cursor comes in, slows down just before he would have overaimed. And here you can see the angle, because I have the cursor's a bit more extended than it is on... I haven't let this screenshot play out a bit more, but this is the cursor, or the direction the cursor goes in. Takes a very sharp turn, just narrowly avoiding over-aiming here. And that's kind of the distinction, so just to go, stress the point of how bad this replay is, all of these timings here are about as bad as this one on the right, where his cursor barely, avoids the edge. So yeah, let's dive into this. Bring up the visualizer here, and I'm just gonna go through every single blatant cursor movement that I have written down here, which is about 28. And let's start out with 20954. So here you can see his cursor. We can watch this at 25% speed here. Ooh, barely, you can see it slows down for a slight amount of time. Terrible aim, approaches the edge of the circle. Just really bad. Over here, you can see at 22,328, again, just narrowly, with a very, very abrupt change in speed, avoids over-aiming. Here we can see another edge hit. Coming off of this slider, comes up barely, again, velocity change, just barely doesn't over-aim this. Another instance where his aim comes in off a slider, barely holding in here. And something you'll notice in a trend is he has a very, very often under-aiming or over-aiming. That's common in players with aim who are playing a map that is above something that they have the aim for. If you were to watch this replay, and I'll have, for those who don't have circle guard, at the end of this, I'm just going to let the entire replay in the visualizer play out at 100% speed. So if you'd like to go through and investigate it yourself using this video and the speed change on YouTube, you can do that. But on the slow parts, his cursor travels through the center of the circle, whereas you can see on faster parts, he begins to start over-aiming and under-aiming. So here, barely comes in. Speed change, blah, blah, blah. We're getting the idea here. Again, comes in, barely hits edge of this. This is one of three that I thought were absolutely awful. This is a good example just of a barely touching the edge here. And I know I'm reusing words, but there's so many edge hits that there aren't enough synonyms for me to describe them all differently. Here, another close call. Again, barely coming in on this circle, leaves it fairly soon. We'll go ahead and watch this one. Comes off a slider. Barely. I might as well just stop. I know I'm reusing words too much, but all right. Edge hit. Another one. Not quite an edge hit here, but the reason, if he had come in only this far into the circle, I wouldn't really consider it blatant. It'd still be very, very bad aim. But I have this in the blatant category because his cursor comes in at such a steep angle. It's super sharp, and he's barely in this circle for any amount of time. You could you could make a case that this is aim assist, just pulling it into the circle for a slight amount of time. Yeah. Again, right here, just barely touch again. Again, awful. Just, we'll go ahead and play this one. Barely comes in to hit this slider. Another pretty steep angle where he comes in and he's only in this circle for a fraction. Look how close that is. And these are all from one replay. This isn't, Oh, this timing's immediately after. Only about 100 milliseconds or so. He comes in. Ooh. Almost over aims. This is another one of the three. So this is the second one that I've marked down that is extremely bad. This one's labeled super bad in all caps in my notes. And we'll go ahead and play this. Comes off this circle. Oh. This is just, you have to sacrifice a dog or like your firstborn son, offer an eye to the gods to hit something like this. And there are 3 instances of this of this kind of luck in this guy's Uragiri play here. Only about 1,000 milliseconds after, I have this one labeled as Jesus Christ. This is one that I used in the example image. You can see he we'll go ahead and play this out a bit more. I don't know what you would call this. This man should go out and buy a lottery ticket. Go ahead and watch this here. Barely doesn't over aim. Super close. I should change my Osu name to Barely. Yeah. I'm just letting some of these play on a bit. I'm just trying to showcase as many of them because I know a lot of people don't have Circle Guard and don't put the time into doing something like this. So I think it's important that there's at least someone who will put things like this into media form so it's easier to digest. We shouldn't have to have, everybody who looks at an Osu report analyze it themselves. Here, another edge hit. This one's really bad. Not only is this coming in and just nudging into the circle here, it's there for a fraction of a... you can count the milliseconds that this is in the circle, right? Another edge hit. Yikes. Ouch. Moving on to about the last ones here. Another edge hit. Another edge hit. So, overall, maybe some of these, as a person, you may not consider them an edge hit, but Personally, I consider all of these to be edge hits or uh, examples of such bad aim that they raise your suspicions, you know? Where you go, okay, one of these, you're lucky. Two of these, damn, dude. Awesome, you're super lucky. Great play. 28 of these, and I think this is at the point where we can call this blatant aim assist. I genuinely think that there is no world where you can make a case for this to not be aim assist, especially since this kind of stuff is present in not just this replay. If you go ahead and look at something like his Chica Chica replay, which I wish I had time to go over, and I'll put timings for in the description because I do have a lot of them written down, and if you'd like to analyze it yourself, you can, where it's just as bad. And this was just a good example because, you know, the OP referenced it. But I'd like to not just, you know, in order to really, really hammer this point home, these are just the blatant ones. This isn't all the instances of him having bad aim. And we'll just, okay, I'll just fling my mouse around here in my sus aim section, and let's see, 45, 558. Ah, all right, look at that. Let's just do another one. Scroll randomly, and 37, 246. This one's not as bad, but as you can see, his cursor doesn't even, like, reach. You know, if you have good aim for the map that you're playing and you can properly read it, your cursor should almost always be traveling through the center of the circle. We'll just grab another one here. More instances of bad aim. These are just ones that I couldn't make a case for being blatant. I thought were just bad. And there's almost double than the amount that I put in the blatant category. On a map that is not all that long, how many hit objects is this? Close to 175 cases where I found this guy having blatantly bad aim, or so bad it's almost blatant. Yeah, I think this is a good case to just wrap up. Come on, Osu mods, ban this guy. Pretty obvious considering all the other evidence that's mounted against him, such as him deleting all of his Twitch VODs, as well as having many clips of extremely sus aim in multiple cases other. You know, I'd like to apologize that I don't have the time to go over more stuff in this video. I promised that I'd go over at least 2 replays, but I really don't have the time. Timestamps for all of these will be in the description. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reply to the Reddit thread or in the comments. My Discord will also be in the description, as well as the Circle Guard Discord. I highly suggest you join it. You know, the more people that we have who are learning about this stuff and thinking about it, the higher chance we have of cheaters getting banned. I think a serious reason why aim assist cases, which, by the way, is the easiest cheat to hide, are going unbanned is because so many people don't understand how it works or how to find it. And so a lot of evidence that gets presented on Osu Report goes over their heads. And I think we need more people in this Discord to kind of educate everybody. But, you know, that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next report.